This evening, of course, you know you have 17 minutes of normal time for the contest. At 15 minutes, we'll give you a warning, but you know. And also, it is open that any previous business may come up again this evening, and that 2 of the 3 of us will be serving as voting. And then when we get ready, you'll have the 1 minute to look at your cards, and then we'll nod to give you the okay to start the contest. Anything we can help you with? Ready to go? You may turn your cards over. Okay, you may begin.
The meeting room come to order. We are now holding a meeting of the North Posey FFA chapter. Madam Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they are at their stations, and report back to you, Madam President. The signal.
Station by the door.
Your duty, sir?
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see the doors open to our friends at all times that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the President in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to Puerto Rico and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the Emma of Washington.
Your duty, sir?
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standings through savings and investments. George Washington was able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duty, sir?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Hereby the L.
Why stationed by the
The
L?
L is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Madam Vice President, why do you keep the flag at your station?
The plow is the symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the President so stationed?
The rising sun is the token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Madam President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you. The secretary will call the roll of members.
There are 10 members, 3 judges, and 1 guest present, Madam President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here?
To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and to develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA membership possess.
May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this meeting of the North Posey FFA chapter duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. Does the secretary have the minutes of the previous meeting?
The meeting of the North Posey chapter of the National FFA Organization was called to order with opening ceremonies at 8:05 a.m., with Chapter President Carrie Henry presiding. Roll call showed 63 members and 1 advisor present. Secretary's minutes were read and approved. Treasurer's report given by Travis Kester stated that since the last meeting we have had receipts of $400 and disbursements of $200, bringing the current balance as of January 22nd, 2015 to $1,234.56. New business. Nick Nick Hager moved to take a top member canoe trip again this year. The motion received a second. During discussion, Robin Bender moved to refer this motion to the Recreation Committee. The referral received a second and was passed. Olivia Glazier moved to sell fresh pork in conjunction with the 4 county pork producers, and David Meats of Hopstocks, and all profits be donated to the Relay for Life. Motion received a second and passed. Due to no further business, the meeting was adjourned with closing ceremonies at 8:25 a.m. Respectfully submitted, Aaron Will, Chapter Secretary.
Are there any additions or corrections to the Secretary's minutes? Seeing none, it shall be approved as read. Officer reports.
Madam President, the Treasurer's Report.
Go ahead, Travis.
The balance at the last meeting on March 10th, 2015 was $1,234.56. Since that time, we've had disbursements of $234.56, bringing our balance on April 16th, 2015 to $1,000. Respectfully submitted, Travis Kessler, Chapter Treasurer.
Are there any additions or corrections to the Treasurer's report? Seeing none, it shall be approved as read, subject to audit at a later date. Any other officer reports? Special features. Unfinished business. Committee reports.
Madam President, I have a Recreation Committee report.
Go ahead, Olivia.
The Recreation Committee met on January 30th of 2015 to discuss when and where we would take the top member canoe trip. It was decided by the committee that Blue River is the closest place with the best facilities as well as providing camping and recreation. The dates of July 1st through the 3rd are recommended by the committee for this trip. Madam President, I move we take a top member canoe trip this year on the recommended dates.
This motion does not require a second, first presented by a committee. It was properly moved to take a top member canoe trip on the recommended dates. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Olivia.
The Recreation Committee put a lot of effort into figuring out what would work best for the top members' trip. The top members also deserve this trip to be held for them because they put in all the extra effort that makes our club the best it possibly can be.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Zach.
I disagree with this motion. We do not have the sufficient amount of funds to go on this trip each year, so I encourage my family members to vote, do not vote in favor of this motion.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we shall proceed to vote on the motion to take a top member canoe trip on the recommended dates. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes. Are there any other committee reports? New business.
Madam President,
Yes.
I move the chapter allocate $500 toward landscaping the county fairgrounds and $400 toward landscaping the school grounds.
Second.
Vice President, will you please restate your motion?
I move the chapter allocate $500 towards landscaping the county fairgrounds and $400 towards landscaping the school grounds.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the chapter allocates $500 to landscape the fairgrounds and $400 for the school. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Travis.
I agree with this motion. It's a good way to get our name out there, and with our fruit sales that we made, I think it's a good investment that we did.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Parker.
these places could really benefit from our donations because they are kind of run down and maybe more people would come if we make these donations.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Hannah.
I encourage my FA members to vote in favor of this motion for the fairgrounds could really use the landscaping, decorations, and we have the sufficient funds to afford it.
Thank you. If there are no objections, I shall divide this motion at the word and. We are now discussing the first half of the motion that the chapter allocates $500 to landscape the fairgrounds. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Travis. Sorry, Zach. My bad.
I agree with this motion. The county fairgrounds could use some landscaping, and this money could go a long way to helping with that.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Aaron.
I move to amend this motion by striking out 500 and inserting 700.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to strike out 500 and insert 700. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Aaron.
the reason I made this amendment is that our fruit sales were very good this year and we have a lot of extra money that we can use towards this landscaping. So it would really benefit our chapter since many of our members use these fairgrounds and make it look a lot nicer for those visiting the county fair.
is to read this motion because $700 is a lot of money for our chapter, and fairgrounds have beautiful landscaping already, so if they used it, it wouldn't do very much for the landscaping at county fairgrounds.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Madam President?
Yes, Olivia.
The county fairgrounds could use every penny that they are given to help renovate any buildings that are run down, and with the money, they could put in a lot of effort to make it look the best that it could.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we shall proceed to vote on the amendment to strike out $500 and insert $700 to landscape the fairgrounds. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Motion fails. We are now discussing the first half of the motion for the chapter to allocate $500 to landscape the fairgrounds. Is there any other discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
I move to take a 10-minute recess.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to take a 10-minute recess. This motion is not debatable, is amendable, and requires a majority vote. Are there any amendments? Seeing none, we shall proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Motion fails. We're now discussing the first half of the motion that the chapter allocates $500 to the landscaping of the fairgrounds. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we shall proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes. We are now discussing the second half of the motion that the chapter allocates $400 for the landscaping of the school grounds. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Emma.
Our school recently just got new landscaping, and I feel like this is a bad motion to donate this money to you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Madam President.
Yes, Robin.
I move on to debate 2 minutes per speaker.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to limit debate to 2 minutes per speaker. This motion is not debatable, is amendable, and requires a 2/3 vote. Are there any amendments? Seeing none, we shall proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by standing. All those opposed? Motion fails 5-4. We are now discussing the main motion that the chapter allocates $400 for the landscaping of the school grounds. Is there any other discussion?
Madam President?
Yes, Olivia.
I move to postpone this motion indefinitely.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to postpone this motion indefinitely. This motion is debatable, not amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Olivia.
Like my fellow FFA member Emma said, the school just got brand new landscaping, so it would be a waste of our money to give the school the money to improve the landscaping since it already has been.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Madam President.
Yes, Travis.
I disagree with this motion. We recently just passed that we're gonna donate $500, and that's a whole lot of money to donate $400 more. So I encourage my fellow FA members to vote down this motion.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Robin.
I agree with this motion because the school always wants more support of their activities, and by donating $400, the school may be more lenient of giving FFA more privileges to go on field trips.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? We shall now proceed to vote on the motion to postpone this motion indefinitely. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Motion fails. We are now discussing the second half of the motion, that the chapter allocates $400 towards the landscaping of the school grounds. Is there any other discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Seth.
the landscaping that my fellow FA members were talking about was just a minor change with just a few bushes, so this money could go a long way to helping the school grounds finish their landscaping job.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Judge. Ms.
I rise to call and ask for the president's opinion.
Madam Vice President, have you spoken on this matter?
I have not.
Will you please assume the duties of chair?
We are now discussing the second half of the motion. Is there any other discussion?
Madam Chairperson,
Yes, Mrs. President.
I agree with this motion because there are a lot of things around the school that needs to be done with the landscaping, and they always look toward us to donate our time, and we are willing to because the school does so much for us, so it'll be worth a while.
Is there any other discussion? We will now proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes. Madam President, will you please resume the duties of chair?
I
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Judge.
at our January meeting, we voted to sell popcorn at the county fair. I move to amend the motion to sell ice cream.
Second.
Mr. Judge, you're out of order, for we cannot amend something past the previous meeting. Would you like to restate your motion?
No.
Is there any other new business? Does the secretary have any business which should now be transacted?
I amend, Madam President.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should now come before this meeting? We are about to adjourn this meeting of the North Posey FFA chapter. As we mingle with others, let's be diligent in our labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow FFA members and guests, please join me in a salute to our flag at the reporter's station. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
now declare this meeting adjourned.